Well, don't blame me, blame Doomcock. Of course, I am a panelist on Doomcock's Wednesday pop culture breakdown show, and he asked that we watch Star Trek Discovery and Doctor Who, of which I was done. After the three Christmas specials and what that was, I didn't. Well, not the Christmas. There was a Christmas special and the three, anniversary specials that David Tennant did. After that, I was done, and I still have not seen the Christmas special. But he was saying for the show, we'll discuss just how bad it is. And that sort of thing. And it was the same approach with Star Trek Discovery, although I think he's relieved us of that. It didn't even come up in the last show we did, so I guess that doesn't matter. Maybe I'm after these two episodes that they debuted for Doctor Who. I it's up to him, and I'll leave it to that. But there's really nothing here for STD. It's a dead show. This is its final season, and that's that. For Doctor Who, it has another season following this one because they've already put up the money for it and everything, and so there'll be another season of it. And then after that, I can't imagine. I can't imagine because this has happened before. It seemed really stupid to do that there would be a third one, if for nothing else to save face, I suppose. The idea that the standard for a Doctor is three seasons. But that wasn't always true. There's some that didn't get that. One by intent, he didn't want to stick around for another one. But, of course, Colin Baker and Paul McGann just didn't get a shot. He got the TV movie and then it flopped. So, what have you. But other than that, I don't know. There's some other sugar daddy who can foot the bill for a couple of more episodes for them to say it. Would it even be on D Plus at that point? Who knows? Doesn't really matter for what I care about because there's nothing going to come of it as far as actual Doctor Who. So, first of all, STD, let's see. This is the most recent 2 episodes that I caught up with. Just for the purpose of this, because everybody's reviewed the Doctor Who episodes, and everything you've heard is true about how bad they were and all that stuff on all the usual levels. So I thought, what would be a title here? I know, STD versus Doctor Who. So STD is doing it's all one episode stretched out over a season where they've got to find the thing. This time connected to an old Next Generation episode that was far superior to what they're attempting here. And for the most part, these 2 episodes whistle speak. And I don't even know what the Breen show up to recapture the space Bonnie and Clyde, and spoiler, Clyde dies, and the Breen blame, I don't know, the Discovery and the stupid girl and all that. Who cares? It's pretty much an on the ship thing, and they had a confrontation with the Breen ship, which was massive compared to the Discovery and the other Starfleet ships and stuff. And it's back and forth, and mostly nothing, and it just leaves you to, next episode they got to find another clue. That's it. It doesn't really matter. The one previous to that is a Tilly and Burnham episode where they go to this pre-warp society who don't realize there's this ancient alien technology that maintains life on their planet by encouraging the planet to produce rain. Without the machinery working, it doesn't work. So Burnham and Tilly want to go in there and reset it, but at the same time, another clue is available for the thing. So, that. Well, they meet this guy and his daughter, and the daughter is a true believer in their religion, and they believe the gods provide the rain. So they got to go to this tower. And you're sacrificed to it. Of course, they didn't really spell out that part until you got to win this race. It's very hard to do, and you take a pill that makes you even more thirsty than usual for it. Whatever, it's part of their folklore and whatnot. And but guess who wins the race? Yes, that's right, Tilly, because she just wins every race, in spite of, well, yeah. And then cheats because the girl, there was a part of the race they can't spill their bowls of water or whatever, and she fell and did. So Tilly gave her some of her water, and so they both get to go to the tower or whatever. Then that's when Tilly finds out it's a sacrifice. They're going to be left to die as a sacrifice to the gods. Well, of course, Burnham just has to break the prime directive and go reveal herself to save Tilly and the girl. And she explains all this to the girl's father. And so they'll just keep it to themselves, I guess, or at least to him, whatever, what the truth is. And then Burnham says, well, just because it was aliens and stuff doesn't mean there aren't gods. We don't know. And he's like, yeah, okay. So there you go. See, that's how you solve that problem. So that's that. The cast that can't act, the infantilized cast and all that stuff is still going there. But other than that, just got through it just to do this dumb video. After sitting through 2 episodes of Doctor Who. So, okay, the Doctor Who show. It starts off, apparently Ruby did not see the TARDIS in the Christmas special. I guess. I don't know. But she sees it this time. And, woo, wow, it's bigger on the inside and all that. It's really big on the inside now, And the Doctor shows it off and takes her on a trip to the future and all this sort of stuff, and to a space station. And it's basically almost pace for pace ripped off from the Rose and Eccleston, Billy Piper and Chris Eccleston's when she first traveled with him and saw outer space and all that type of stuff. Except, of course, it wasn't a date, But anyway... that was the Space Babies one, because there's babies on the station and they've been abandoned. And there's some old lady who stayed behind and wants to take care of them, but doesn't have a clue as to what's going on. And of course, it was capitalism is the reason they were abandoned, because there was a recession. So Starfleet left them there. They had all these tapes of crewmen who were in these sort of Star Trek-like outfits. But capitalism, boo-hoo, bad. And so they left, of course, I guess the left would have just aborted them, But anyway, so the Doctor and Ruby got to figure out what to do. Oh, and there's a monster, not to be confused with the xenomorph, but easily confused with the xenomorph. But, a monster on a space station, that's, this is closer to a Doctor Who show than the second one. So, there is that. But it's also, it was just stupid for the most part. The Doctor's realizes that the whole thing was structured to teach the babies a fairy tale like thing about a boogeyman and all. It was stupid. And then the nanny, they think it's an AI, but it's actually this old lady who stayed behind. She was the janitor of the space station or something. And she's been taking care of the babies. Little do they know. And but the monster gets caught in an airlock, and the nanny says, "Oh, like Ripley, shoot it out into space." But the Doctor is like, "No, we can't do that. It's one of its own species, just like me." Which is another these making sure you understand that the Timeless Child is canon now. And so the Doctor says, "I'm the last of the Time Lords," which doesn't make any sense because, well, there's 2 Doctors now. In fact, the real Doctor, again, I didn't do this, Russell T Davies did, is sitting on Donna's couch watching TV, I guess, while Dr. Schutte goes off on adventures. and he's like, I'm the last of my kind. Well, not really. And plus, he goes on about, I'm adopted by that monster who tortured the Doctor over and over again to steal the secret of regeneration, apparently. And he's told, well, the Time Lords were my people and stuff. Well, yeah. Whatever, make up your mind already. But so it's all very stupid. Again, not only does it not respect canon and continuity and all that sort of stuff, doesn't respect its own continuity within just a few episodes. Stupid. So that's why he feels compelled to save the monster. It's also why he's interested in Ruby, because she's adopted as well. So there you go. That's the connection. So he saves the monster, which turns out to have been made by the children's boogers, because they have a lot of snot and boogers, and that was all collected in their Kleenexes and napkins or whatever, wiping their noses, all these years, and it created this monster. But also they had to have their diapers changed, and so all that poo is collected down at the bottom of the station and produce an enormous amount of methane gas, which turns out to be fortunate because they needed a boost to push the station, which is stationary in orbit, out of orbit to go to this other planet that's a refugee planet that can help these kids. And so it does that. So at the end of the show, the space station farts in your face and takes off. Now, granted, Russell T Davies did create those fart monsters way back when, so full circle. So there you go. So the next episode, they want to go meet the Beatles, so they travel back to 1963 and to go meet the Beatles, and they get gussied up in their costumes and everything. The Doctor does not have a regular costume. I thought it would be the orange coat and everything. It seemed to be, but no, he just whatever. And I mean, in this episode, you can understand it because they're in the past and all that. But there's not going to be an outfit, which is odd because that was always one of the branding things for Doctor. Yeah, well, never mind. Capitalism bad, But anyway, so they go to meet them, but there was a prologue to this episode where the villain it was far scarier than the booger monster. So I'll give him that. Really creepy villain. It shows up giving piano lessons apparently to this little boy, and it's the drag queen guy. A drag queen monster sitting there. The father comes in, but the father was going to be some musical genius or whatever, and the drag queen strips all the music out of him and kills him as a result. Well, when the Doctor shows up, this is much later in 1963, they go to see the Beatles, and they're terrible. Their music is stale and bland, and there's nothing there. Then he talks to the actual Beatles, and they're all rather lost and bored and kind of depressed, and everybody is. All the music within Abbey Road Studios is terrible. And they're like, what's going on? And they realize something's happened. And, well, it was, the drag queen monster who goes by the name Maestro. Boy, when I heard that, I thought, oh, my God, is this their new version of the Master? No, thank God they didn't notice the name, Turns out Maestro is a child of the Celestial Toy Maker. So here you have a near omnipotent, godlike entity. And the Doctor's terrified and doesn't know what to do. Because, they're so powerful. And basically, all science fiction is thrown out the window. This is just magic. And that's what happens. And they have to find the right note to get rid of the Maestro. Instead of making Maestro say his name backwards, you don't have to do that. Like Mitzelplick or Mixes-Pitalik. It's Mitzelplick as far as I'm concerned. I grew up on Super Friends. And that's how Superman would do it. And then, of course, you had godlike entities in Star Trek. And so it's not unheard of, Plus, they have the classic show did introduce the Celestial Toy Maker and stuff like that. So, but it just is so stupid. So stupid. And finally, after it's all over, no, not yet, you got to have a musical number where they dance and sing. And that was it. Oh, there was a lecture about they them pronouns and stuff again. But curiously enough, it came out of the drag queen, the villain and monster being very creepy next to the little kid. Kind of odd to do your lecture through that. I mean, I know it's the performer here, actor, I don't know. It is actually a drag queen. But won an award or something like that for it. Whatever. But you let the evil villain supposedly teach the audience a lesson. Boy, there's something there, huh? So that's it. It was stupid, and that's for the most part. And also just that it's so badly damaged, unnecessarily so. You know, if you really wanted to cast Ncuti Gatwa as a doctor, you could have. But the odd thing about it is you're not going to let him be the doctor. He's not, through your own narrative. But then again, they don't even pay attention to what happened in the previous episode, so what does it matter? Even though there's once again an ongoing arc of some sort about Ruby, there's something special about her. The special girl who's the key to it all. Yeah. I don't know, I guess she'll turn out to be another one of the omnipotent gods from another dimension. Whatever. That's it. So who wins in this one? Well, boy, it's a tough call. Jeez, they're both so very stupid. It's a draw.